Hello and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Power Scale video, manga only. This is part 3, the OG saga. Wait a minute, Thunderbolt? The OG saga? I thought you were gonna do the Cell saga. Yes, I was gonna do the Cell saga. In fact, I'm already halfway done with the Cell saga. The only problem is that in order to get the most accurate readings for the Cell saga, there is one particular thing that I need to know the power level of, and that is only possible if I find out the power levels of the OG saga, and you will know what I mean very soon. So, let me just give you a quick reminder that these are the domination multipliers that we used, and they are like, I would say, 70 to 80% accurate. There are many times where they are not accurate, and when it's not accurate, we try to use as much logic as possible. Another reminder that I am not using any guidebooks, okay? Because a lot of things that I mentioned in the guidebooks are either changed or retconned, or like they don't make sense. The only things that do make sense are the things that Akira Toriyama himself says, like in interviews. But even those things, sometimes he's forgetful and like it changes every once in a while. But that's fine. I'll still take whatever he says way more seriously, obviously. But yeah, I'm not listening to any of the power levels mentioned in the OG guidebooks. And I'm pretty sure like the guidebooks got a lot of things wrong as well that did not make sense. There's a video by a guy called Yuraza. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name, but he's like a really good YouTuber. He makes videos on Dragon Ball, and he also made like a power scale series. In that, when he was talking about the OG Dragon Ball, he actually showed all the places where the guidebooks were inaccurate. So you can check out his video. I'll link his channel and the video in the description. Yeah, and these are the only multipliers that you need to know right now. So we know, if you've been following the power scale series, we know that a Zenkai boost can range from 1.3 times to 6.4 times. And the theory is that it depends on, yeah, we all know that you need to survive a near-death experience. But the thing that determines the multiplier is how fucked your mind thinks you are, right? So if your mind is like, oh fuck, I'm gonna die, then you get a higher Zenkai boost. And that's the working theory, and so far it's been working for us. That's why I'm gonna use it here as well. We know that like a basic ki blast is 1.4 times. That's because that's like the weakest ki blast that we saw in the Saiyan saga recorded, which was the Masenko. Then we also know that a Kamehameha was recorded to be 2.2 times stronger than your base power. Finally, let's get on to it. So, Reddit stated that an average human has a power level of 5. Let Yamcha be 1.25 times an average human because he's a bandit. He, doesn't fight that much, but he has an interest in martial arts and he just keeps, stealing from people and whatnot. So, let's make him 1.25 times stronger than an average human. So, in the beginning of the series, Yamcha's power level was 6.25. and Goku was 1.75 times Yamcha. So Goku could not tank Yamcha's attacks, but Goku survived the Wolfang Fist pretty easily, and this is when he was hungry. And yeah, hungry does mean that he can't fight at full power, but at the same time, he still couldn't tank his attacks even when he was not hungry. So Goku being 1.75 times Yamcha makes sense. If you remember, domination multipliers state that if you want to dominate an opponent, you need to be 1.75 times stronger, but you cannot tank the attacks. So 1.75 times into 6.25 makes Goku 10.9375. That's Goku's power level at the beginning of the series. The funny thing is, the guidebook stated that Goku had a power level of 10, which is very close to this, so I'll give them props for that. So obviously, Great Ape Goku is 10 times that, which makes him 109.375. And after this whole sequence, Goku goes and trains with Roshi and Krillin. So let's say that a tournament fighter is 1.5 times that of an average human. So if a bandit, like if a basic bandit with interest in martial arts is 1.25 times stronger, a tournament fighter who's there to determine who is the strongest on earth literally has to be at least stronger than that. So a tournament fighter is 1.5 times that of an average human. So 5 and 1.5 gives them a power level of 7.5. Krillin tanked an attack by an average tournament fighter. So Krillin is easily 2 times stronger than an average tournament fighter. So Krillin is 7.5 into 2, 15. And we know that Goku is and has always been 1.25 times stronger than Krillin. Like he's just been slightly stronger than Krillin the whole time, and they've both grown at the same rate, which is why Krillin never overtook Goku. So we know that Goku is 15 and 1.25, which gives him a power level of 18.75. So basically, in 8 months under Master Roshi's training, Goku went from 10.9375 to 18.75. So Goku became 1.7 times stronger in 8 months. Yamcha is probably 1.25 times weaker than Krillin because he's not even sure if he can beat Krillin. So if you do the math, then Yamcha's power level comes out to be 12. Remember, earlier he was 6.25, so Yamcha became 1.9 times stronger on his own, which is crazy considering the fact that Goku only became 1.7 times stronger. Yamcha became 1.9 times stronger on his own. Alright, so Roshi or Jackie Chun is easily 2 times stronger than Yamcha. Why? Because he just blew wind in Yamcha's face. Like, he didn't fart, but like he blew wind in Yamcha's face, and he just, and Yamcha just lost. That's it. Like, he did not even touch Yamcha and Yamcha lost. I could easily make him 2.25 times stronger, but we are lowballing as much as possible. So let's just say he's two times stronger. So 12 into 2, 24. So Roshi has a power level of 24. And Roshi also seems to be 1.25 times stronger than Goku. No, so you must be seeing this 1.25 times a lot, right? So you've seen it here, you've seen it here, you've seen it here as well. And the reason behind this is because according to the domination multipliers, if you paid attention, 1.25 means that you can start to overwhelm the opponent. So like, according to domination multipliers, it's the weakest you can be if you're stronger than someone, if that makes sense. So yeah, so Roshi seems to be 1.25 times stronger than Goku because him and Goku had like a very close match in the tournament. Even though we know that Roshi was holding back, but he did not know what to expect when he was fighting Goku. So yeah, 1.25 into 18.75, which is Goku's power, comes out to be 23.43. So Roshi being 24 works perfectly. And at the bottom you can see here, yes, of course, Roshi is much stronger. I'm only showing you how much power of his power he's showing. So at the moment, he's only showing off a power level of 24, even though like we all know that he should be stronger. Okay, so Goku turned Great Ape into the tournament, and that gave him a power level of 187.5. And we know that, if you want to completely manipulate someone's energy, like not just tank someone but also manipulate the energy, then you need to be 2.25 times stronger. Obviously, Great Ape Goku is 2.25 times stronger than Roshi's Electric Shock Surprise because he completely dissipated it, as you can see here. So Roshi's Electric Shock Surprise should have a multiplier of 3.47. Could be lesser depending on how much power Roshi was using to contain Goku, but we know that it's not his full power because he used his full power to blow up the moon later on, which was after this. Okay, so then the next serious fight that Goku had in the OG Dragon Ball series, where he actually got hurt, is against Mercenary Tao. Here we know that Tao is 1.75 times stronger than Goku's Kamehameha because Goku launched a Kamehameha at him. He could not tank it. It still hurt him a little bit, as you can see here. So we know that Tao is 18.75, which is Goku's power, into 2.2, which is the Kamehameha multiplier, into 1.75. That's how much stronger he is, right? And this gives us Tao's power level of 72.1875. So we know that Goku lost to Tao here pretty miserably, and Tao hit him with a Dodon Ray, which like nearly killed him, but the Dragon Ball saved him, so yay. Either way, this is actually the first time in the series Goku gets a Zenkai boost, okay? So when Goku met Tao again after training under Korin, Goku now was 1.75 times Tao. So like Tao hit him a lot, but Goku could not tank it. You can see he's bleeding a little bit here, and he said that hurt pretty badly, but he took it like a champ, right? So Goku is 1.75 times Tao's power level after training with Korin. So his new power level is 126.33. So Goku got a Zenkai boost and trained under Korin to become that strong. But how much of a Zenkai boost did he get? And how much stronger did Korin's training make him? So let's find out. In order to find this out, we first need to fast forward a little bit to the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament. We know that Yamcha had become 1.9 times stronger in 8 months, and in the nearly 3 years after Fortune Teller Baba arc, I've counted the exact days, by the way. So in the nearly 3 years, he became 8.6 times stronger. So Yamcha's new power level is 103.55. Similarly, Krillin became 1.7 times stronger in 8 months, just like Goku, if you remember. So now, in the nearly 3 years, he became 7.72 times stronger. So Krillin has a power level of 115.81 at the second World Martial Arts Tournament. So now that we know these power levels, let's fast forward even further, all the way to like the beginning of Z. In the beginning of Z, if you can see here, Krillin had a power level of 206, Yamcha had a power level of 177, Tien had a power level of 250. So let's say that 5 years ago was the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, the one where Goku and Piccolo Jr. fought. So let's say 5 years ago, they were 1.25 times weaker. Because let's just say that they didn't train that much, because they had life, they did not even meet often, right? And they did not even participate in the 24th tournament. So yeah, so we can just say that they were 1.25 times weaker. So in the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, Krillin was 164.8, Yamcha was 141.6, and Tien was 200. And we know that for the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha trained under Korin. And so, if you compare their power levels in this 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament to the 23rd, where they trained under Korin, so we know that Krillin went from 115.81 to 164.8 under Korin's training, which basically made him 1.42 times stronger, and Yamcha went from 103.55 to 144.6, which made him 1.37 times stronger. So easily we can say that Korin's training is 1.4 times. It's the average of these two. Korin's training makes you 1.4 times stronger. So let's go back here. We know that Goku got a Zenkai boost and trained under Korin, right? So Goku went from 18.75 to 126.33. So Goku's power, which is 18.75, into Korin's training into Zenkai boost gives him his new power of 126, right? So we know that Korin's training is 1.4, so Zenkai boost into 1.4 into Goku's old power equals Goku's new power. If you do the math, Goku got a Zenkai boost of 4.8 times. So the very first Zenkai boost that you see in the series is a 4.8 times Zenkai boost, and that makes perfect sense because this is the first time Goku has met a villain who killed someone he liked right in front of him within seconds, tried to fight him, and that guy tanked his Kamehameha. I mean, didn't tank it, but like almost tanked his Kamehameha. Goku was scared. You can see it on his face right here. And the very next panel is Tao hitting him with the Dodon Ray. We don't know what the multiplier of the Dodon Ray is, but we know that it's much stronger than a Kamehameha's multiplier. Even Roshi says it. So Goku was heavily damaged. He was about to die and his mind was like, oh fuck, this guy kills my friends and he's about to kill me. So there's no way that Goku got the weakest Zenkai boost. He did not get a 1.3 times Zenkai boost. He definitely got a 4.8 times Zenkai boost. Alright, let's move back to the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament. So we've already seen this. The new powers are 103.55 for Yamcha and 115.81 for Krillin. And since Tien also trained under Korin after this, we know that Tien from the 22nd tournament is equal to Tien from the 23rd divided by whatever Korin's training did. And we know that Korin's training is 1.4. And we also found out that Tien had a power level of 200 in the 23rd tournament, as you can see right here, right? So he had a power level of 200. Yeah, so 200 divided by 1.4 makes him 142.86. So in the 22nd tournament, Tien was 142.86. Tien is 1.37 times stronger than Yamcha, so it explains how he won. Right, Yamcha is 103, he is 142, Tien is clearly much stronger. Roshi was at 139 in this tournament, and I say that because in the beginning of Z, Roshi is 139, and this was Roshi's last tournament. So Roshi was at 139 in this tournament. He stayed at 139 for the next 8 years. Okay, basically he did not weaken. He kept up his training. Like he didn't train to get stronger, but he trained to maintain his power level, and that's why his power level did not go down. So he was 139. And yeah, so as you can see, 139 and 142 are pretty close. That is why he gave up in the fight against Tien. So he knew that Tien is stronger than him, and he wanted to pass the torch to Tien. He wanted Tien to be the person who shows Goku that there's always someone stronger. So yeah, this makes sense. So far, I think all power levels are making beautiful sense. Okay, so if Goku became 1.25 times stronger in the 3 years, his power level would be 158. But because the fight with Tien was so close, let's give Goku a simple 150. Because we know that Tien is 142, so let's make Goku 150. So we know that Goku did not become 1.25 times stronger, he only became 1.2 times stronger in the 3 years, which is believable because in the 3 years after the whole Red Ribbon Army fortune teller Bawa shit, Roshi told Goku that he cannot train him anymore and he should just go explore the world. And he told Goku that don't use the Nimbus, just walk, just run, just swim. So mainly all that Goku really got was endurance training, so it makes sense that he only became 1.2 times stronger. So Goku in the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament is 150, Tien is 142.86. And Tien says here that it seems that fighting you head on, somehow I'm the one at a disadvantage. So the only reason Tien was able to stay ahead of Goku is because he was using a bunch of techniques. And because he was using a bunch of techniques, he even ran out of energy first, which is why Goku was able to use a Kamehameha and knock him to the ground. But unfortunately the car hit Goku and Goku fell first. You know how the fight went. It was awesome. And now finally let's move on to the big bad of OG Dragon Ball, Piccolo Daimao. So old Demon King Piccolo was clearly 1.5 times stronger than Goku. I will explain why. So let's just say that he's 1.5 times stronger, which gives him a power level of 225. So as you can see here, he did not kill Goku. He thought Goku was dead and he barely hit him. And like when Piccolo left, Goku's just like, yo, give me some water. And Yajirobe's like, yeah, sure, man. He drank some water and then he was perfectly fine. He just couldn't move that much because he had used up all his energy. But that's about it. So I don't think Goku even got a Zenkai after fighting this. And that's why I don't think old Demon King Piccolo was even that strong. So sure, he's not 1.25 times stronger because in the fight he was not starting to overwhelm Goku. In the fight it was easy for him to overwhelm Goku, and we know what easy to overwhelm means. Easy to overwhelm according to domination multipliers means 1.5. So yeah, Piccolo was 225 and Goku did not get a Zenkai from this. So now Goku was at Korin's place and he decided to drink that super ultra divine water, whatever that nonsense is. I'm sorry, I don't really like this plot point that much, but it is kind of funny. Anyway, so let's just say that it made him 1.75 times stronger. Okay, so Goku, who has a power level of 150 into 1.75 makes him 262.5, and then Piccolo got his youth back. So how much stronger is young Piccolo? I think young Piccolo is only 1.25 times stronger than old Piccolo. And I'll tell you why. So first, if you do the math, young Piccolo's power level is 281.25. He is only 1.07 times stronger than Goku, who was 262.5. Basically, Piccolo told Goku that using his full power will shorten his lifespan, but he has forced him to do it. So what he means by shorten my lifespan basically means that he's using high concentration ki attack, which is draining his power very quickly. It's kind of like the Kikoho, how if you completely expend your energy just like that, you can die. So using his full power will shorten his lifespan. And in the entire fight, Goku and Piccolo were pretty much on par with each other, with Piccolo just having a very, very, very tiny advantage, which makes sense because he's 1.07 times stronger. And he was expending all his energy using attacks like this, as you can see. And then eventually, when he was like very much out of energy, he just picked up Tien and he's like, yo, Goku, don't move, I'm gonna kill Tien. And then he used this to weaken Goku. You can see he's picking up a rock here. He used the rock to hurt Goku's arm and leg and whatnot. So yeah, basically what this means is that Goku and Piccolo were almost evenly matched, and Piccolo wasted all of his energy trying to kill Goku, but it didn't work because Goku dodged or blocked or even deflected some of his attacks because he's more or less the same power. And eventually Piccolo is like, you know what, I just gotta use a hostage and then weaken him. And Goku then used the power of the Ozaru to kill him. So I don't know if this power made Goku's attack 10 times stronger or not, but it definitely made him a little bit stronger, strong enough to, burst a hole through Piccolo's chest. So we don't know what the multiplier for this is. We'll never know. It's just hypothetical. And if you think this is the only time Goku has done this, actually he's done this twice. He did this against Mr. Popo as well. Mr. Popo dodged it. And yeah, so speaking of Mr. Popo, at the very minimum, Popo is 1.5 times Goku. And this is because you can see here that he's very easily blocking Goku's attacks. So he could be 1.75 times stronger, but he tells Goku that Goku has a lot of power. It's just that Goku is wasting his energy and his movements. Too many wasted movements. So I think Popo is 1.5 times Goku, but he just has mastery over his movement, which is why it's easy for Popo to block and deflect Goku's attacks. So Popo's power level comes out to be 393.75. This is Goku's power into 1.5. So yeah, this kind of makes sense. And Popo says that Kami is 1,000 times stronger than him. Kami's power level comes out to be 393,750. This is exactly why I'm doing the OG Dragon Ball power scale. I wanted to find out what Kami's power level was to see if my fusion multiplier works. Okay? Because we had a fusion multiplier back in the Namek saga. It's A plus B and then you multiply that by 12. I want to see if that works, and the only way it'll work is if I know what Kami's power level is. That's the whole reason why I'm doing this OG Dragon Ball series. Okay, obviously 393,750 sounds whack for OG Dragon Ball, right? Whack. But in the brackets you can see here, this is his Dragon Clan magic power. So if you don't know, there are two types of Namekians. You have the Warrior Namekians and you have the Dragon Namekians, like Warrior Clan, Dragon Clan. So Dragon Clan Namekians aren't good at combat. Their combat power levels are significantly much lower. The only reason why Kami is able to make Dragon Balls and do all that shit is because he has a high Dragon Clan magic power. So this is his Dragon Clan magic power. And you must be wondering, you're like, oh, okay, fine, it's his Dragon Clan magic power. But then he fought Piccolo in the tournament, and he fought Yamcha also in that tournament. So like, what is his combat power level? Yeah, I will explain that. We will go on to that. I will tell you exactly how much weaker a Dragon Clan Namekian becomes if he fights. Okay, I will tell you. You will see. But before that, let's finally move on to the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament. So if you remember, this is Krillin's power, this is Yamcha's power, this is Tien's power. So if they were 1.25 times weaker than beginning of Z, it means that Goku and Piccolo were also 1.25 times weaker in the tournament, right? So in the tournament, Goku's power level is 332.8, which is 1.25 times weaker than his power level in the beginning of Z. And similarly, Piccolo also has a power level of 326.4. So in the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, these are the power levels. This makes perfect sense, because Goku and Piccolo were both wearing weighted clothes most of the times. So we know that the weighted clothes multiplier is 1.25. In case you're new to the channel, you gotta watch part 1 for that. This is part 3. So yeah, so the weighted clothes multiplier is 1.25. So because they were wearing the weighted clothes, their powers were suppressed to 266.24 and 261.12 respectively. So this explains why Goku and Tien's battle seemed pretty close, because 266 and 200, until Goku removed his weighted clothing, which completely, made him way stronger than Tien and win the fight. So this makes sense. And since Goku and Piccolo's power levels are so close to each other, their battle also makes perfect sense. Yay! Yeah, so in my mind, the OG Dragon Ball power scale has been super consistent, and the domination multipliers have worked beautifully. Okay, this was like my favorite video to make right now. Finally, Kami. We have to find out Kami's combat power. So Kami took over the body of this man, right? And the body couldn't fight Piccolo. You can see here, the body I borrowed is too weak. But Kami's combat power is certainly above Piccolo's, because Kami himself stated that he can easily defeat Piccolo, but he did not because he was observing, and he knew that, Goku or someone else could defeat him. But Kami would have stepped in if, things went really bad. So what is Kami's combat power? Okay, Now, this is the toughest part of this video, but I have to explain it to you. Kami is a skilled Dragon Clan Namekian, right? Him fighting would be as bad as him being an average Namekian. Because it would not even be as bad as an average warrior Namekian, because he's not a warrior. He's not part of the warrior clan. So Kami's combat power would be as bad as him being an average Namekian. So in the Frieza saga, we knew that an average Namekian's power level is 3000. We also know that the average human's power level is 5. We know that the average warrior Namekian, which is Nail is not a skilled warrior Namekian because he is the only warrior type on Namek. Okay? He's done everything he has by himself. He's had no one to train with, he's had no one to fight. So Nail is an average warrior Namekian. His power level is 43,000. So divide 43,000 by 3,000, we get 14.33. So average warriors are 14.33 times stronger than average people. So since we already know what average human's power level is, an average warrior human is 5 into 14.33. So an average warrior human has a power level of 71.65. This makes perfect sense because the last time we saw an average warrior human was in the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament. People like King Chappa, for example. And in that tournament, if you remember, Yamcha had a power level of 103 something, and Krillin had a power level of 115 something, and King Chappa was much weaker than both of them. So like the average warrior human having a power level of 71 is perfect, makes perfect sense. So what is the power level of a skilled warrior human? A skilled warrior human is equal to 1190.5. This is Tien's max power in the Saiyan saga. Why have I taken Tien's max power in the Saiyan saga? Because this is the max power exhibited by a human before anything crazy happened. Like this was before humans were training with Super Saiyans, and this was before Namekians were fusing with each other, right? So like the last normal skilled warrior human power that we've seen is Tien's in the Saiyan saga, which is 1190.5. So if you divide 1190.5 by 5, we know that skilled warriors are 238.1 times stronger than average people. Okay, we know that Kami is a skilled Dragon Clan Namekian. If Kami was a skilled warrior Namekian, he would have the same power, right? Power level will remain the same regardless of whether he is in the Dragon Clan or in the Warrior Clan, right? So Kami, aka a skilled Namekian, has a power level of 393,750, and we know that when he is fighting, he would be as bad as an average Namekian, right? So we know that skilled is 238 times stronger than average. So you divide skilled by the multiplier, which is 238.1, to get the average power. So 393,750 divided by 238.1 gives Kami a power level of 1653.72 when he is in combat. So yeah, so Kami's combat power level is 1653.72. This also makes perfect sense because this is much weaker than the Saiyans, who he could not, help against. And yeah, so because of the average human body that Kami took over, his power level was significantly weaker than 1653. But if Kami had just appeared as himself to fight Piccolo, this is what his power level would have been. So then you must be wondering, like, why didn't Kami just, show up as himself? Two reasons. One, the world still remembered Demon King Piccolo and Kami looked exactly like him. And two, Piccolo and Kami share a life, right? If Kami fought Piccolo with this power, he would kill Piccolo. And he even told Piccolo that he doesn't want to kill him, he just wants to seal him. So like, even when he was in the human body, he was not like fighting Piccolo, he was avoiding his attacks, and then he just removed the jar and tried to do the Mafuba. So he never really fought Piccolo. So yeah, finally that is the end to the OG Dragon Ball power scale. Part 4 is gonna be Cell Saga, obviously, and like I said, it's already halfway done. Now that I know Kami's power level, I can finally move forward. So, OG Saga final power levels. Let's go. Kami having a power level of 393,750. His combat power being 1653. Popo with a power level of 393.75. Goku 332.8. Piccolo 326.4. Piccolo Daimao 281.25. TN 200. Krillin 164.8. Yamcha 141.6 and Roshi 139. And it's funny because I could not have made this video if I had not done the power scale of the Saiyan Saga and the Frieza Saga, because I took a lot of elements from the Saiyan Saga and the Frieza Saga. Like everything we learned in those two sagas was used here to find out the power levels. And like I said, everything is consistent so far. It's working. It's working. Yes. I just hope the Cell Saga also works, because the Cell Saga has already been a little inconsistent in the beginning, but I think the rest of it is going to be consistent. I hope. We will find out. Stay tuned. Look forward to it. Please leave a like and subscribe. I'm glad that you guys are following this series. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. All right. And I'll see you in the next one.